Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Play It Painted Live. That's right, I turned the camera back on tonight because, like I said last night, I won't have a stream next Wednesday. So I figure, hey, let's just go ahead and take care of this right now. And I want to continue exactly where I was last night. So here we go with this. This is the Kingdom Death miniature that I was painting last night, the Lantern Ceremony miniature. And so I'm looking at her, and she looks pretty good so far. You know what I'm not happy with? If you look here at the top of her legs, the thighs, and back here, it's just not, it doesn't look very good. Color's mottled. It looks a little textured. That's what I was trying to avoid. So we're going to try to repair that a little bit tonight. And we're going to try to repair that with glazes again, because glazes are what I think what we can do is if we do the glazes delicately enough and we get the color right, we should be able to bring all of these different flesh tones back into accordance. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of deep skin tone. So we're gonna work on that, and then there's just some cleanup to do, and then the lanterns themselves need to be lit. So, but you know, there's a lot that I like about this miniature, but it's just looking a little rough right now. And again, we're painting this for fun, so I'm really just kind of experimenting with different things. So I am going to go in with a mix of basic skin tone and deep skin tone. You know, just about 50-50. And I'm going to mix that with glaze medium. And I'm going to try to get this like ultra thin. Okay, because the idea is if I keep this thin enough, that was a lot of water. If I keep this thin enough, I can blend the colors, and things should look pretty good. Okay, so one thing I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to take this in back to kind of a darker state, but I'm going to mix looks like I'm going to mix this color in. So it's going to look all solid for a little bit, okay? I'm not sure if I really like the belly. The belly looks okay. The boobs look pretty good. The boobs and the way that the highlighting sits on the boobs looks pretty good. The belly button looks okay. It's not great, but it looks okay. So you can see I'm just going to take this all the way out. So the idea here is to get rid of that mottled look. And get us back to a solid color. So if you're just joining us, welcome back to Play It Painted Live. It's our little bonus stream, if you will. Just adding this onto last night's stream. And we're still painting the same Kingdom Death miniature that I started last night. And we're just having fun playing with the skin tones. Honestly, that's all I'm really doing here with this mini. It's the only reason why, you know, we're still painting it. If you want my honest opinion, there was a point there where, like right after I was done airbrushing it and I put the second glaze down, where I should have just left it. I should have just been happy with where that was uh, and continued on with the rest of the model. But I wanted some lighting. I'm seeing now that I don't necessarily need, crazy lighting effects on the model. I just want to have a nice, smooth, clean paint job. So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on the tops of the thighs right now. Let me see if I can get us back to a nice, clean paint job there. See, that already looks better. It's already clearer than it was at the start. And then I'm going to try to reduce the texture on this thigh. Because I was looking at this one going, okay, this one, color looked okay, but it just looked really textured. David O'Connell, surprised to see the broadcast. We'll have to say hi and bye due to work in 10 minutes. No problem, man. Thanks for tuning back in, for catching the stream. I just figured, why not just show the continuation? Because I finished last night and I went to bed thinking it was okay. Then tonight I picked up the mini and had a look at it, and I said, still doesn't look right. The skin still doesn't look right. So I figured tonight, let's show you how I'm trying to repair it. And it's a good opportunity to just kind of experiment with this model. So I'm doing cleanup. Bummer that you have to go to work, but it's also good to be employed. So I see that hard line, the hard crease there. That's just way too sharp of a line. So I'm going to paint over that. Get that back down to where it doesn't look like, such a harsh line in there. Been a very long day. My work day started much earlier, as I mentioned last night. That's why I had to get up early. Just had a long day. Because of the holiday, everybody was really, this was like the last real work day, because starting tomorrow, we don't know who's really going to be left in the office. So everybody was trying to get stuff done today. I had like important customer meetings today. But I'm just glad today is over with. Tomorrow we'll be less busy, but it's still work. But once again, it's good to be working, right? It's good to be employed right now. Money to exchange for goods and services is always good. Yeah, it is. All right. This is kind of a nice warm tone here I've got going. I don't really know if I want to do much else to it. Nice warm tone. It's a little more mottled when we're talking about up here. So I'm going to clean up my lines up here too. Because you get the whole under boob thing right there. But I will say it does look pretty good. I'm just going to tease the glaze around the navel. And I'm tempted to bring in a highlight, but I'm not sure if I should, because I'm getting pretty happy with how the flesh is now cleaning up. That glaze that I mixed up worked pretty well. Yeah, that worked pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I can even do a little highlight on these things. Whatever they are. I still don't know what they are. I don't know if I want to know what they are, to be honest with you. Because this is Kingdom Death. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do with the lanterns here. Okay, so hang on for a sec. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to respond to a couple of PMs that I got. Once again, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Here's what we're working on. Just doing some finishing touches on Kingdom Death here. Okay. Okay, I'm telling these guys I'm streaming now. Okay. And okay. Had a couple of questions in which are semi-related to what we're doing. Anyway, so here we go. So yeah, had a friend ask me right now, heard you had your first game of Guild Ball Octave. How do you feel about it? I talked about that a little bit last night. Yeah, I really liked Guild Ball. We fumbled through the rules and we played through our little intro game. And despite how rough it was and how confused we were a lot of the time, we were able to get the gist of the game rules down. And I gotta say, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think Guild Ball is going to be a game that I definitely want to keep in the rotation, and I'm sure some of my friends will play with me. So that's good. This is a game that I can see a lot of people are going to want to play publicly, in an organized play setting. I may or may not do that. I'll probably join in for some of that stuff, but for me, I these days I really like playing casually with people I know. So I don't know. Guild Ball. The one thing that I'll say about Guild Ball is if my travel schedule picks up the way it's looking to in the coming year, I will probably be bringing my Guild Ball team with me wherever I go and just trying to play pickup games with people. Just because it's such a portable game, it doesn't require terrain. You can have terrain, but you don't really need it. If you can throw 12 minis in your carry-on, and you have enough for two people to play. So I'm seriously considering doing that. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I may do another layer here on this thigh just because, just to keep it smooth. No. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Hella dope, dude. Thanks, man. All right. I don't know. What do you think? I'm tempted. So I'm tempted to try to include more highlights on the thigh, but last time I did it, it just came out looking mottled. I want to do a little bit of highlights there in the top. Sorry, out of frame. I want to do a little bit of highlights on top of the cheeks there, and on top of the very tops of the thighs. But I'm worried I'm gonna overdo it, so I'm not really sure what I want to do there. I just think it. I think it needs it. I think it needs a little bit of light bounce off of it, and if I can do that and keep it relatively light or relatively thin, I think I'll be in good shape. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to add a little bit of light flesh into my glaze here, and I'm going to add some more water and a little bit more glaze medium, and I'm going to add some flow improver too. I'm just going to go like super thin. Mix in a couple tones to make it less distinct. Yeah. So I'm not gonna. Ooh, that was a lot. I'm not gonna stray too far from the current formula, but I'm gonna lighten this up a little bit and treat it more like a soft highlight. So that's a little bit lighter. Wow, there's almost no difference there, but that's good. Almost no difference. So I'm gonna paint that in. Thanks for getting this for me, Damien. This has been really fun painting this miniature. It's been really fun. It's a great quality sculpt, as all the Kingdom Death stuff is, and I don't know. You just have so much. You have so much area to play with here on the skin tones, and the sculpting is just amazing. I mean, the all the curves and the lines, how organic the miniature is. And this is a really static pose, but I mean, look at it. It's fantastic. It's just, I really do feel like, this is going to sound super corny, but I really do feel like this is more arty. You know, this is really a more artistic endeavor than most of the painting I do. Most of the painting I do, you know, the aim is to get them painted up so that I can play them. And, you know, I do want to have a good aesthetic, but this is really just, let's just enjoy some really awesome art. And I kept looking at some Kingdom Death stuff online. I'm like, oh, we should have kept that mini. We should have kept that one. Because all those sculpts are awesome. When it comes down to it, they're all really, really good. This one really stuck out for me, though, because um, I just like the two lantern look. I don't, chicks with swords are rad, and I have lots of those. But I wanted one without. I wanted one that had something kind of unique, like lanterns. So I could use her for games where she doesn't have to be a warrior. She could be a caster. She could even be, she can be a caster. She could be a civilian. She could be an NPC. If we were going to do role playing, that kind of stuff. I'm glad I'm promoting a culture of art. Yeah, I've been wanting to paint some Kingdom Death ever since I saw the minis. And I never, the pinup deals have gone by like at least 2 years in a row and right in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I should really get that. And I just never got it. And every time it goes by, I like kind of kick myself a little bit because like, man, I had so much fun painting all that stuff. The reality is though, if I did actually get that set, I'd paint a couple and then a couple would just sit around and that would make me sad. That's my fault because it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be playing Kingdom Death, but I really like the minis, whatever, and then they're just going to sit around. At least in this case, I have just the one, and this one, and the fact that I have just the one means I can come up with excuses to field her. I can really see her being used in my Guild Ball team, and Frostgrave. I could make her my illusionist, and she can cast the beauty spell so that you don't want to attack her because of her thick booty. So there's that. So that's a really soft tone. Looks like I did absolutely nothing. So the next step, I'll pull this out a little bit. So the next step is I'm going to turn this way. There we go. I can now continue to dial that tone up a little higher. Need this to just kind of hang out here. I'm going to be using mine as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to add. I hope this isn't a mistake, but I'm going to do it. We're playing. We're painting this for fun. I'm going to add another drop of light flesh, just a drop, to my glaze. There you go. So then every time I add a drop, I'm going to add some water. I'm going to mix that in. And we're going to do another quick layer. I think the challenge for me is going to be feathering, because it looks like I can, it looks like I'll be able to get the transition I want, but I'll have to feather the ends. I'll have to feather all my edges really carefully here so that the transition looks good. And that just takes time. You just do layer after layer after layer. I don't think I'm going to be washing the miniature anymore. I think I'm going to stick with this formula, stick with this plan. If I wash the miniature, that's basically means I failed at getting the transition that I want, and I need to soften it up. Like I went too far. In the future, though, I do really like that airbrush formula I used. Starting with a deep umber and then spraying up towards sunny skin tone, and going past where you would normally go, and then coming back and hitting it with my ink glaze, or well, no, that's true. I went with a sepia glaze. That's right. That was cool. I should have really just left it there. After I hit it with a skin tone glaze and a sepia glaze, I should have just left it. But I always want to play. I always want to add. Is there such thing as a miniature feather brush? I don't think so. Most of the time you feather for miniatures, most of the time you feather with a separate damp brush. That's essentially what two brush blending is. And two brush blending is a cool technique if you can get comfortable around it. It does take, a bit of practice. I'm not comfortable with two brush blending. And I don't know where to apply it. That could be maybe a goal for my painting next year. Kind of like how glazes. This year, my focus is I want to get better at glazing. I want to get better at doing what I'm doing right now. Mixing glazes, applying glazes, and using those to do things that I normally would need an airbrush to do. So maybe next year my goal should be two brush blending or wet blending. I think I'm more interested in two brush blending. Ooh. See, I want to apply that highlight there in the top of the cheek, but the glaze the previous coat isn't 100% dry. And you gotta be careful. When you're using glazes, you don't want to do that. You don't want to paint over a half wet glaze. You'll end up re-wetting the paint, and then you can actually pick it up and move it, and you're gonna end up with hard lines and stuff. So definitely a no-no. On camera, it doesn't look like I have a single highlight on there. I think that's good, though. I think that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is that you can't see the highlights yet. Should kind of look like that. I want the transition to be so soft. And pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry for a little bit, and we're gonna work on getting the lantern lit. So for the lanterns, what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do really light OSL. I don't want the model to look like it's in the dark that much. So a lot of times if you're doing an OSL, you might do a really, really soft lighting effect on the thighs or on the side of the body. I don't think I want to do that. I don't know. I think what I'd rather do is just keep the light to within the lantern. And when I say within the lantern, I'm gonna basically paint. Sorry. I'm going to basically paint in and around the pattern. There's like an S pattern here. And we're going to go with blue light. So let's see. I could do, oh, well, that's actually kind of nice. I could do that blue and then hit it with verdigris, which is one of my favorite blues. Like I could go, where is verdigris? The main question is to whether or not I want to light the raised areas or if I want to light the sunken areas. Logically speaking, it should be the sunken areas because the raised areas would be kind of the cage of the lantern. My counter to that thought is this idea that if I did that, the glow effect may not, well, it would work. It would work. Let's do it. Screw it. Let's do it. That's my attitude. Screw it. Let's do it. That's say that a lot. All right. So I'm going to go in with the fine brush here. I do need probably need another highlight on the hair. And I don't know if I'm going to do makeup. The face has good character to it. She looks kind of angry in the face. That's pretty good character. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to put a little of this on the face to smooth it out a little bit. There we go. Screw it, let's do it. Words to live by, yes. Oh man. Whoa, I was worried about that happening. Can you ever grab the brush and you're like, your hand starts telling you, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying. And then it does that. It just decides, oh, you want paint right there. And you don't. Your hand temporarily says you're not as good a painter as your brain thinks you are. And just overrides it. Still looks okay. We're still okay. All right. Hold on. Did I just lose some detail on the eye? I didn't. It's just such a tiny little, beady little eyes you can't really see. It kind of looks like she's half winking. I'm okay. It's okay. All right. Anyway. So this is a Vallejo Model Air. It's a really weird blue. It's kind of like it's almost like a blue-green. So what I'm going to do, so instead of putting the light, really throwing the light out, I'm just going to keep that glow in. So I'm going for really kind of a soft lighting here. It's going to be the lighting is going to be fairly subtle. It's worse when you're trying to do watercolors. I believe that, because it's going to go everywhere. Oh, yeah. Here's the one thing that's nice about painting like this is you don't necessarily have to be that precise when you're doing this. See how I kind of got a little bit of that blue on the edge? That's fine, because it's a lantern, remember? So it's going to be throwing that light around. When I come in and hit the middle with verdigris, that's a different story. That I have to be fairly precise with. This I don't have to be as precise with. It's just nice if I can keep some of a pattern on it. So you can see the details of the lamp. Still with me? Here we go. So you can see that blue lighting coming in. I can even wash it with a little bit of a teal ink, but I don't think I don't know. I don't know that I'll have to do that. Now I use this kind of lighting combo a lot. This airbrush blue with verdigris. And especially with non-metallic brass or gold, it looks fantastic. But this is about the most intricate shape I've ever done it on. I'm waiting for someone to say that's what she said. I don't know why. This is the most intricate shape I've ever done it on. Anyway. All right. Whoa, that was a big blob. Big blob of paint there. My kitty's crying. You see my how I did the black rim last night? It's like now that I'm painting the model again, it's starting to chop up. I'm going to have to clean that up at the end of the night. Not a big deal. That's just what happens. I was like trying to paint this black rim in for the benefit of the live stream, thinking I wasn't going to flip the camera on tonight, but we did. So, Damien, I saw that you got the that the Wrath of Kings Twilight Night mini, which is awesome. That's just a great mini. I painted one of those on a live stream, and I haven't played a Wrath of Kings game since, unfortunately. But there we go. All right. So now what I'm going to do. If your penis has an intricate shape, you should probably get that checked. That's funny. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just the lightest of lightest light. No, that's the wrong brush. I'm going to use one of these. Use one of these guys. It doesn't have to be this big, but so I'm going to do the. So now I need to spread the light around a little bit by doing this, and I'm going to just kind of Spread light around. So it's just going to be enough so that you can still tell that the lantern is gold, but you've got a little bit of that green light going places. And I could hit the top of the thigh, and I'm still tempted to do it, but I don't know, man. Especially right here, where this lantern is closer to the thigh than this one is. Like this one, I can understand me not wanting to put the light out there, but the one that she's holding in her right hand is pretty close to the thigh. I think I have a problem when it comes to the twilight. I may have too. Yeah, what are you gonna do something with them, or like you gonna have a whole warband of Twilight Night or something? That would be kind of cool. Did you get the SDE Twilight Night? Totally get the SDE Twilight Night. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think? Do you think I want a little bit of light on that thigh? Do you think I want a little bit of light on that thigh? Kind of do. I kind of do. Let's just do a little. Let's just see. I mean, I still have the paint out. It's not like I couldn't come back and fix it if I don't like it. There we go. There we go. See, what you don't want to do is apply it directly with the brush. You just want it a little bit of that there. And here on the pantyhose, the stocking. There we go. And just kind of let it build on its own. There we go. There. See it? Real subtle. I'll put a little here for posterity. On the cheekage. The cheekage. Pretty good. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So now, I'm going to hit that with the verdigris in the middle and kind of bring the lighting to a focus. Okay, so verdigris, one of the best colors to do lighting effects with. It's just freaking awesome. It's a thicker paint too, because it's got it's like a crazy amount of solid in it. So thin it, and then so you're always going to thin it out. Now all you're going to do is you're going to basically highlight the light blue with the verdigris, and then it's going to give you a more glowy effect. Within the center of the lamps. So see, so that one there has the verdigris in it. This one here, this one doesn't. You can see there's a nice, there's already a really nice lighting situation going on there. Just such an awesome color to do this kind of work with. Man, the problem I'm having now is now that I'm painting this, I'm like, man, I should have more Kingdom Death. They would probably make some awesome Guild Ball minis. Or some awesome Frostgrave minis. A Kingdom Death Frostgrave warband would be super fun. You probably would offend a few people that you're gaming with, but that's okay. They'll live. think you can see the lighting effect there. Current Twilight Night collection, STE Halloween pinup, sci-fi pinup, reverse pinup. Cool. It's a lot of Twilight Night. So I'm just being pretty careful where I'm putting the verdigris. Just to maintain that glowy effect. All right. I just wanted one model of hers, and I found myself with 4. It's fun to collect that model, though, because it's all, it's all the various companies paying homage to Kingdom Death and the vision behind Kingdom Death, by having their mascot. Other companies have candy and cola. So, for example, I'm getting a Bruce Lee board game one of these days. I've heard no updates on that on Kickstarter. Maybe they just, happy to have my money now. Oh, shoot. That was way too much. But yeah, they did a Kunoichi candy and cola as part of their Kickstarter minis, and that kind of sucked me in. Plus, I love Bruce Lee, so I'm like, oh, okay. Bruce Lee board game, I'm in. I should have labeled this stream for those of us not watching Star Wars right now. Also, if you want more Kingdom Death, yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about it. I'll look at that picture again and see what was really grabbing me. For sure, this miniature was grabbing me, but there were a couple in there that I was like, oh, okay, that one's kind of cool too. I might want that one. So yeah, I'll spend a little time looking at it. You have to blend a little of the blue back in. That side's just messy. See that? It's just globby. That side's nice and clean. The other ones look pretty clean. That one just looks like globs of paint. I need to clean it up. I don't think that helped. Just doesn't look good on that side. I just ended up putting too much verdigris. It's okay. All right. Anyway, so it's looking pretty good. Do I want to keep going up with the skin highlights? Maybe. Let's try. So a little more light flesh. More glaze. I don't know. This may be a mistake. Because otherwise the miniature is done. I could do a little highlight in the hair. But really, the mini is done. I'm going to give Jose one since he doesn't have the patience to pin. If you give Jose a Kingdom Death miniature, he's just going to ask me to paint it. He's not going to, because he doesn't have a specific game for it or anything like that. He would just ask me to paint it. I don't know if he would be interested in painting one for himself. He does paint, But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for the guy. I don't know. Maybe he would want to paint one for himself. He does buy a lot of Infinity minis though that just end up like like all proper miniature gamers. We all do that. That's like our move. All right. So the lantern is done. The lanterns are done. Now it's a question of, do I want to keep transitioning the skin? And my answer right now is yes. I do want to keep transitioning the skin. So I think I can get really nice effects out of it. All right, here we go. Let's try it. Test area here will be the under boob. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Think we got a winner. If I could keep the point on the brush tight, that is. Otherwise, this stuff starts to look furry. And that's kind of the situation I had last night. Uh-oh. Yep. Too high. Too high. I'll feather that out. There we go. I'm going to blend that out. So it's not, doesn't look like it's just a weird, I started to paint a boob right there. Said a night goblin sitting in their box, waiting to be given life, screaming to antagonize the players in my D&D campaigns. That's funny. Okay, there we go. Man, I don't know. It's so hard to keep that, to keep it soft without having these weird hard lines in the mini. You really have to just put something on super thin and just tease it out. But I don't like where this is going. It's not, it's not laying down the way I would hope it would. There's like weird shapes in the boob right now. A little Tara Reid action going on there. Is that offensive? I don't care. The Tara Reid bad boob job? Too soon? Nah. It looks good on camera, but I'm looking at this texture going, that doesn't look so good. So what that means is when I photograph it, it's going to look furry. That's already starting to bother me. That's not acceptable. It looks good on camera, but man, it doesn't look good to me. I don't know. I really, I don't want to mess with it too much. Yeah, it was a mistake going up this high. And now it just looks like paint. Not like that, man. Can't believe I screwed that up again. I'm going to have to make a darker. I'm going to have to make a darker glaze to fix this. Yeah, that's just too high. It's, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix that tone back down a shade or two by adding a deep skin tone back into it, getting it down a color or two. There you go, and then I can actually kind of wet blend one into the other. And I just need this. Oh man, so what a crap time for my brush to go out. It's not too bad. Okay, I can kind of deal with that. It just, there's just weird edges. You're looking at the camera. See how, like, there's just an edge there that's just too brown at the bottom. This little edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint up to it with just a slightly blended color, so it doesn't look totally red in there. Now you can kind of see it. And now I can blend back into it. Like a soup forming here, almost. Okay. Looks like I did nothing. It really does. On camera, it looks like I did nothing. Ooh. Then all that liquid just flowed right there in the middle, and I don't like that. I'll dab that out. Okay. So I'm gonna wait until that's dry, and then I'll repaint it, come back and fix it. Next up, while that's going, let's do some more highlights in the hair. Man, that's just a mess. Can't believe I did that. What a mess. All right. Should never have tried to go up one more color. That was just, yeah, I jumped the shark on that one. Too much. I'm going to do another highlight here in the hair. Subtle highlighting has been kind of the theme of this miniature, and to really just get, if you really want sharper contrast, all you really have to do is just do multiple coats. Your texture will start to come in, your contrast will start to come in, like that. It's super easy, as opposed to that Tara Reid job I've got right there. Got a pretty crazy Tara Reid thing going. I think the best thing to do, so let's just do this. Let's just paint the whole thing in. Just like that. Paint the whole thing in. And then bring that boob back into line with the other one, color-wise. Oh no, not again. Yeah, it's the One of my lizard men I was painting lost his head. Now I can't find it. That sucks. Wow. Okay, so there's that. Let's what do I do with the basic? There's my basic skin tone. Now I had it out at one point. Hold on a sec. You found it. Good job. See that? I'm gonna just show you the bad cleavage, the Tara Reid I've got going on. Did I do? Here we go. All right. Let's get some order back to this. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna repaint the part of the bra that I had to frantically paint over. We're gonna let that dry. It's like starting over on that one bad boob. Yeah, what a bummer. That was like one of the better parts of the miniature when we started the program. Now it's struggling. It was because it was going pretty well, and then when I put that last glaze down, it just had a little too much water and decided to run and then stretch. And when acrylic paint stretches, it'll thin out along the middle and it'll form hard lines on the edges. And that's just really annoying. And then it's almost like a, if you've ever had a coffee ring, it's what it looks like. You definitely don't want that. But it's all repairable. And this is starting to look, decent again. Just a matter of okay. So here's what I'm going to do. So I got to get the boob back in line. Got water there. Take this, mix it with that. Okay, keep mixing until I get the right color. Not quite there. Like way too much light flush right now. There we go. There's the right color. Just hit it. Okay. Now I can go in and I can, but see, it's still, there's just not enough solid there. Maybe it won't let me. Yeah, it will. You just can't go very far with it. So it looks like I'll be able to get it back to matching the other boob. There we go. Going to great lengths to make sure that these boobs look like the right shape and they have the right shading on them. What does that say about me? I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. I just like to paint stuff, okay? Give me a break. I want it to look right. There we go. There. I think we're just about back to normal. Just about. And she's the lantern girl. She's proud of her boobs. She's proud of her set of lanterns. It's supposed to be a headlight joke in there. There we go. There. Starting to feel a lot better about that. Okie doke. There's still a part of me that wants to wash the boobs. But I suppose I should not. Well, if I'm going to wash the model, I should wash the entire model. Actually, that's actually a good idea at this point, because I went 3 different formulas, one here, there. If they should look right, one needs to be a bit smaller than the other. Yeah, so because of you see that soft line there with the navel and all that, I need to blend all the tones back together. So I probably should come through and wash this. The other thing I need to do is I need to put a second coat of gloss varnish down on the marble, because it just doesn't look shiny enough yet. And then the rest of it is really just touching up that black. So let's put the gloss varnish down. Actually, no, we shouldn't. We should let this dry for a minute. So I'm going to do a 1-to-1 mix of Seraphim Sepia and water, and that will serve as my final skin wash. With how high I took up the cleavage there, it should still stand up to this wash. Sometimes when you wash like this, you like kill all the highlighting you just did. But if I keep this wash thin enough, it should do just fine. All right. I'm going to apply here. Looks good. Tops of the thighs again. This number again. Washing the booty. Yeah, that you can already tell that looks a lot better. And then finally, back to up here. Do the side boobs. Back up in here. No, I don't have enough sepia there. So I'm going to go and add a little bit more to my mix. Ooh, it's really dark up there. There you go. There we go. Good. It's able to get it back. Good save, essentially. Okay. All right. There, now she looks pretty good. All right, now on to the gloss. I think my size 0 is just about to give up on me. Can try restoring it with the, well, before I say that, I should wash it proper with a, with the brush soap. But anyway, here we go. Another layer of gloss varnish. Sad truth of it is, you watched the feed last night and you watch it tonight, it's almost no difference. Probably won't see much of a difference between this model, where this model was last night, and tonight? Well, the lanterns. You'll see the difference in the lanterns. All right. So there we go. Pull some of this up. And then let's repaint that black lip. In fact, I may just pull it off here. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to pull it off the mounting and just hold it by the head and paint the black base. So we'll do that. And let's do black. And that's going to be it, really. Nice, quick little feed here just to finish up this model. Then let her dry, and then shoot a photo for her at some point. All right. So yeah, that was quick. That was all we really needed to do on this model. All right, now I have to be careful. I'm gonna have to hold her like by the head. The head's the driest part of the model right now. Got wash on the boobs and all that stuff. I almost wore that paint off directly off the corner there. Okay. All right. So there's her. I could pick her up and show her to you, but still way wet. Well, actually, I can pick her up and show some angles of her. But she's, I think overall she's done. She's where we're satisfied now. I feel like I spent a lot of time correcting things on this model, mainly because we're painting for fun. We're doing a lot of experimentation with how we want to do skin tones. I did learn some stuff about, where I want to, how I want to airbrush skin tones, and then what I should be doing after I airbrush the skin tone. Learned a lot about what I should not be doing after I airbrush a skin tone. And frankly, that that whole light flesh debacle is interesting because when I was painting stuff like this a couple years ago, light flesh was my go-to. I'd paint, especially on female models, I would go from deep skin tone to basic skin tone to light flesh. And I did that on a lot of like the Malifaux minis. In fact, here, let me show you. Like this model here, she has light flesh. And this is actually like not, it won't even focus, but that's not actually a really good miniature I was painting, painted in previous years. Here's a metal Rinfera. She fell off her base a couple of times, but you can see there, that's where I used to take the light flesh like that. And I got, and it from a texture standpoint, it was nice and smooth. And I'm thinking about, I'm like, what's different? What am I doing different this year than I was back when I painted her? 'Cause that's rad mini, by the way. And a lot of that was, priming. I prime different these days, and I do a lot more like, what's the word I'm looking for? I do sharper highlighting these days. Like that mini looks kind of cool, but then you can see there's some areas where um, where the highlights on the legs just look kind of weird. But they're smooth, they just look kind of weird. So I don't know. I'm still, how do I marry that up with what I'm doing on this model? I guess I can pick her up by the back shoulders to show her off. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. There's our lantern mini. I think she looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to playing her in games. Probably, yeah, like I said, I'd probably use her for some Guild Ball. She may join my upcoming Alchemist team as Vitriol or something like that. She's just a cool model. So, anyways, it's 11:30. I'm gonna have to get up and go to work tomorrow, but at least it's Friday. So Damien, I don't know. I'll let you know if I think maybe Sunday afternoon or whatever might be able to get together. I know I'm gonna help you build and prime some of your Kingdom Death stuff. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Looks like we're done with the Kingdom Death mini. Thanks, Damien, for getting me this mini, because I had so much fun painting it. It's just freaking awesome. Can't wait to see more of this stuff. But anyway, that's going to do for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Have a good night, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.